Oh, hello. We are here with Yvette Rock, multi-talented, multidisciplinary artist and one of Sidewalk Detroit's artists in residence. Yvette, I want to ask you so many things, but can we just get started with you telling us a little bit more about yourself and your art, what you do?
Sure. I do all kinds of work. I'm a multidisciplinary artist, so I dabble in photography, painting, drawing, and the last 2 years I've been really exploring performance art. Actually, thanks to another Sidewalk online resident artist, Billy Mark, who's been an inspiration to me, as well as other performance artists. So performance art has really allowed me to explore combining my different forms of art together in a unique way. So I'm pretty excited about that. I really love tangible materials too. So even in my performance art, I bring in a lot of different materials to create whatever pieces I've been making. In general, I've been an artist all my life, so as long as I can remember. So.
Yeah, and will you tell us a little bit about Live Coal Gallery?
Yeah, so Live Coal Gallery is a small business that I started in 2012. I formed it in 2012, and really my hope for that small business and social venture is to like literally transforming lives in neighborhoods. Like really seeing here in the city. I've been in the city for over 20 years and have loved it since day one. And so right now through Live Coal Gallery, I'm trying to find ways to connect with my neighbors, connect with my neighborhood, different neighborhoods. I'm in Brightmoor as well and in central Detroit area. So I have Live Coal focuses on four different initiatives. So we have a collective of artists. Every year I try to switch around, work with different artists to give, young aspiring artists to very seasoned artists a chance to work together. And then I also do things in the educational system. I work with as an artist in residence in Detroit Public Schools, thanks to Inside Out Literary Arts Project, which is a local nonprofit. I go into the schools and conduct art classes. And then I also have an 18-foot artsmobile, call it the Live Coal Artsmobile, that I take into different neighborhoods and events as well. And then the newest initiative is called Detroit Repatched, which is an art hub and green space that I'm trying to do community development in the Brightmoor area. So
Oh,
we have six city lots. I've been working with the city of Detroit on that, and then we just got a land bank house that will be kind of like the central house for the green space and art hub.
that's really exciting. Where is that located in Brightmoor, if you don't mind me asking?
It's on Bentler, so really close to Hofstra and not far from the school Gompers. So kind of in that area.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I really look forward to. We just actually planted two pear trees.
Yeah.
uh, there, so I'm excited. Thanks to Keep Growing Detroit, we got some trees we ordered and two little pear trees. So
Yay. I'm so happy that planting season is finally.
yes, and that to me the whole again, since a lot of what I'm going to talk about later has to do with nature, I think that's something that I'm very interested in exploring is how we connect with nature in a daily basis. And I'm not I'm not a professional like gardener per se, or I don't study trees or botany or anything like that. But I just enjoy it and I just love it. And as an artist, I like to look at it through an artist's eye as well, as a human being's eye. So my interaction. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we'll do there.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So, a little bit of background about the artist's residency is that Yvette is going to be hosting programs starting the week of May 4th. And she'll be creating videos and sharing those with folks. Everything is focused around nature and what did you say? Imitating nature. I really like that. Will you tell us a little bit more about the pieces?
Yes, so I have three different workshops that I'm going to do. And the first one is actually more of it's a video documentary that I created, a short documentary on a nature-based installation that I've been working on the past 3 years in my front yard. So it's a human-sized nest, and obviously part of the inspiration comes from watching birds and another form of imitating birds. So creating, it's, a lot of people have done this, but I hadn't done it. So I was pretty excited to find materials literally just in my neighborhood, in my backyard, and grab what I could. And one day, just with my kids, I was like, I'm ready to make a nest. We had been working on a house renovation project. And so I was just ready to do something totally different. And so just started making this human sized nest for us to sit in and just enjoy observing around us. So that's an ongoing project. I'm always adding to it, changing it. Even the form and the shape of the nest changes every year. I work on it in the spring the most, spring and summer the most. So that's one of the things I'm going to present to everyone, is a short documentary about that, and just encouraging people to, think about what it means to create ongoing projects. And then another one has to do with just again taking the idea of the nest and creating our own variation of some kind of a weaving project, putting things together, natural materials, household materials. I understand, like, we can't go out and about all over the place to gather things, but how can we create something uh, beautiful with what we have, and how can it be connected to nature? So even if it's not necessarily using branches or sticks, although I might encourage that, if you have a backyard or somewhere you can gather that. Maybe you have string in your house, maybe you have yarn in your house. So creating some kind of a weaving project, which, by the way, weaving projects can take weeks. I mean, you can keep building and building and building. So part of that, I was looking at videos about the weaver bird, and this amazing little bird who's like one of the only, I think maybe the only bird who can tie a knot with its beak and its feet. So
Oh, that's
in
awesome.
order to create its nest. So just how do we, again, imitating nature while observing it as well. And then another project has to do with creating like a mobile piece using cans. So I just recycle my canned goods and clean out the can, sorry. And then how can we create an object that can be used kind of like a gift for nature? So where animals, specifically birds, probably would rest in and on that structure that we make. And so I figured a lot of people can't have cans and canned goods. This is one way that it's kind of like a mini sculpture or mobile. And if you can't hang it outside, something you can do inside your house. So I'll take you through those workshops.
I'm so excited. It sounds like you've been really inspired by birds.
Yes, I've actually been inspired by birds since high school. That's when my infatuation started. And even so, I started just drawing birds. Birds have like uh, their fast movements startle me sometimes. It's really interesting. It's like I love the way they look. They're just so beautiful. But they have such a mystery, and they can be, I don't know if you've ever driven a car and a bird comes super close to you. I mean, I duck, I'm like, ah, it's just, they're so amazing. So yeah, I've used birds in so many of my paintings and my mixed media, just, what they've meant symbolically over all of history, so
Are
yeah,
you
so
a
now,
bird?
well, I've done birding thanks to a friend of mine who introduced my husband and I to birding. He has passed since. His name was Larry Humphrey, and he was an ornithologist and introduced us to the art of birding, and took us to Canada, to Point Pelee, and to Belle Isle, and different places to observe birds. And again, I am no ornithologist. I'm not a professional. I merely appreciate this beautiful creature. So,
Yeah,
uh,
absolutely.
yeah.
Oh, that's great. So yeah, I guess I wanted to give a little bit of background first, but I wanted to see how you're doing, how you've been coping with the stay-at-home order, and yeah, how that's affecting you.
That's a good question. I'm sure a lot of people have something they can say right now about how it's affecting them. I think for me, so I have four children, varying from age 10 to 15, and I would say that's probably the number one way it's affected us is just I am home. Like I am home all day, as a practicing artist and like person who's out and about in her community and engaging in that way. I am available to my children now like 24/7, and there's a beauty in that. There really is. There are definite blessings to I just gotten to know my kids even more. And they are a priority in my life. I mean, I'm seeing that as like, wow, okay, this is eye opening, for me to really learn about what it means to connect to my family more. And at the same time, um, I do miss some things that I was used to doing, like being in my studio and choosing not to go into that space and stay home and so forth. So,
Sure.
there's definitely things I miss. So, but I'm also trying to look at, the positive things and what I'm gaining from being at home.
That that sounds really like you're staying really positive. I mean, it's been really difficult. I think that all of us have been really stopped in our tracks, and it's forcing us to rethink how we've been living, how we're continuing to live, and yeah, changing our lives in so many ways. Um, is that bringing up any specific themes in your art? Are there ways that you're finding that you're changing your art practice, or how you've been kind of coping with that, I guess?
Hmm. Well, I guess the trick to answering that question is one of the valuable lessons I'm learning is one, again, how little control I actually have in life, and then two, to not overthink and overplan. And so even relinquishing that, like relinquishing what I have viewed as what it means to be an artist and to be a practicing artist, and what the guidelines say maybe of what it means to be an artist. I'm always an artist. Like I'm always going to be an artist. It's so part of my core, who I am as a person. I think that's what I'm like. It's not going to be separate from who I am, even if I'm home 24/7. Like I am a creative individual. I've been I think creatively, it's just part of who I am. So even if I engage with my kids, even if I'm cooking, even if I'm teaching them, um, I try to think creatively and I try to act creatively. So I think that's one thing that's been good for me, just like relinquishing the whole in terms of what art looks like in the market or in the art world out there, So,
Yeah.
um, and this residency actually, even if it's a short-term thing, it's really been very good for me to re-engage in this way. It's right here in my house and right in my backyard and right in my front yard.
Yeah.
And I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying pausing, which is what I'm going to encourage people in the midst of all this. Like, nature is still like the bird in my backyard that this morning I'm like, there it is, making its nest. I was so excited. I'm like, you're
Yeah.
on schedule. You're on schedule with my project. Thank you. But anyways, of course, it's not revolves around my project, but it was just wonderful to see again. I'm going to be sharing this and then it happening right around me continuously, So as an artist, just being aware, continue to be aware of what's happening around me is a beautiful thing. And,
Yeah, and I think that your residency is so important right now for people to be able to um, connect with nature, especially in this time, especially in this time of this pandemic and this high anxiety time, but also especially during spring. Those kind of conflicting things of life jumping forward and simultaneously slowing to a halt in so many other ways. Um, what do you what do you hope that this will provide for people? What themes do you want people to pull out of the work? Yes.
Well, it's interesting to me because even if you're in isolation and by yourself, it doesn't actually mean you're resting. Even if you're not doing your 40-hour week job and you're like at home, it doesn't actually automatically mean you know how to rest and how to appreciate things around you or
Mm,
people around you. You can be um, overwhelmed with what's going on. And there are definitely days I've been overwhelmed. You know, I lost a friend. A lot of people have been sick. Um, so it can be very overwhelming. So in the middle of that, being able to like breathe and pause and being able to, like I just did, just go in my backyard or look out my window. I look at my window and just listen. You know, we all might not be able to see well. We have vision impairment. We might, you know, or vice versa. You know, maybe you can see well, but you can't hear. But there are different ways we can observe. Maybe it's even putting your hand out of your apartment window and feeling a little bit of a breeze, you know. So there are different levels that isolation can take us, but I'm hoping this workshop really just allows people to enjoy, rest, smile, take delight in the creative world and the creative world and the beauty that's out there. So
that's amazing. Thank you so much, Yvette. I think that's a great note to end on. So your series will be going live starting Tuesday, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, and we will yeah, we'll be posting more information about that on our Facebook. So for those of you online right now, follow the Facebook event, RSVP to the Facebook event for updates, and you'll be hearing more from Yvette soon. Thank you so much.
thank you.
Have a great rest of your day.
All right, thank you.
Bye.